Hello VC, Steve Whitty here, with a new video. It's been a week and a half since I posted the last one. Now this video is a contest entry and it's to the Omaha Introverts 500 subs contest. Hanna, whose channel it is, need a bit of a drink, has been a huge success on her channel. She's only recently joined a few months back, but has quickly built up her numbers, and I've seen she's actually over 600 subscribers now, so big well done. Hanna has got great taste and mixture of vinyl and CDs. Her and her partner Chris equally is as knowledgeable, as enthusiastic about the music. That's what I like about the channel. Now, for Hanna's contest, there are several parts to it. So let me start with question one, and she simply asks, where do you live? Well, Hanna, I live in royal town of Sutton Coldfield. Grand title. Reason Sutton Coldfield is known as the royal town, it was known for the royal town for quite some while, until about the mid-70s, lost that title, and then it's just recently regained it. The reason for that title is that in Sutton Coldfield we have a big natural parkland called Sutton Park. Now, back in the early 16th century, it was one of the favoured hunting grounds of Henry VIII. And so enamoured, he bestowed the title of Royal Town at Sutton Coldfield. As I said, in the 70s it lost that title, but when the town became part of the city of Birmingham. Only just recently it sort of pulled itself away from Birmingham. It's got its own council and back, and it's for campaigners have managed to bring back the royal town. There's quite a few royal towns in the UK. So you've got Royal Leamington Spa, Royal Bath, or any time like Bognor Regis. They've got Regis at the end of the name. That's also known as a royal town. It's got royal approval. Bognor Regis is another example. Sutton Coldfield, it's not much. In my eyes, it's going downhill. And reason I haven't been posting, last week, this last Thursday, unfortunately there was a fatal stabbing in the centre of town. A 16-year-old got stabbed to death. What seems to be like drug related, and it just left me feeling ever so sad. I'm 52. I've lived here in this town for 51 in those years, and music videos showing records just didn't seem important to me, and I just got myself into a bit of a funk about it. So this is the first reason I've come back, to just try to get myself out of this funk this little bit of low peer feeling I'm having. But also, Sutton Coldfield is mentioned in Shakespeare. I bet you didn't think you're going to get Shakespeare on the VC. Well, it's mentioned in Henry IV Part 1, and it comes from, let's see, Act 4, Scene 2. Now, Falstaff is talking to Baldolph, and Falstaff goes to Baldolph. Baldolph, get thee before to Coventry. Fill me a bottle of sack. Our soldiers shall march through well to Sutton Coldfield tonight. There you go. A bit of culture on the VC. So I've been prattling on too long about my hometown, so let's move on to question 2, which is the best sounding album you own on vinyl. Because most of the records I buy tend to be on the cheap side, they've seen better days. However, I have to say, probably what I would consider the best sounding album on vinyl is this Ella and Louis box set. This is on the reissue on Verb, the French Verb label. It's free. It's a free disc set, and I got this for about a couple of quid in a charity shop, and it absolutely sounds great. It's great. Boston, if I use my Birmingham vernacular, really is a great sounding album. So that is the best sounding album. Question 3 was, what decade or era of music is least favourite and why? That's quite easy for me. I'm just going to go sweep across the 80s. Don't get me wrong, there was some good music, However, what the 80s saw was the music industry becoming a business. And I think we have these ramifications now, actually, with the business. I got the feeling with particularly, I suppose, the CD. I just got a feeling, and even though I bought mainly CDs and stopped buying vinyl, there was that feeling you were getting ripped off. They were pushing stuff and stuff. It was all what was deemed popular. Bands started not to grow organically. A band was given a chance years in the 60s and 70s to sort of develop. If it didn't work, it didn't work. But they were given the chance to do it, 2 or 3 albums. What you got in the 80s was start bands literally having 1 or 2 albums to make it. Now it's 1 album. If you don't make it, you've had it, so to speak. And I'll give the example of EMI in the 60s and 70s. EMI was just known as EMI, Electrical Musical Industries. Well, Electric Musical, one of the two, Limited. Late 80s, beginning of the 80s, the electronics firm Form took over, and they became Form EMI, and it was Form that did the business side of things, and they got rid of a huge load of acts, practically shut down the Harvest label. All the acts like suddenly on Harvest at the time, Wire, I think even Scorpions, Bill Nelson, they were deemed surplus to requirements and had to go elsewhere. So that's why I don't really like the 80s. And then some of the music, as I said, there's some good music, and I've got plenty of 80s in my collection, but some of the music some of the pop, as much as Pete Waterman is a fellow fan of the Saddlers, I just cannot abide Stock Aitken Waterman. It was in the deer of the 80s. It sounded manufactured. It just sounded like just program a computer. I'm sorry if I've offended any Stock Aitken Waterman fans. So question 4, and this on a happier note, what 5 psych albums do you recommend that Hanna should check out? I'm not a big psych fan, I have to be honest. I haven't got that much. So what I might show you is going to be more pop psych than anything. So let me see. Yeah, I have got my 5. So you may be aware. So starting off, I'll probably say Bee Gees first. Yeah, their debut album. Probably pop with a little bit hint of psych in there. Also for 67. I've got the cover. I've got this on CD. I've got the cover. I haven't got the record. That's another story how I've got this cover. Traffic's debut album. Mr. Fantasy. I certainly would recommend that. I think also from that period I would go with the Moody Blues, In Search of the Lost Chord. The follow-up to Days of Future Past. This is a bit more on the psych things. So bordering between psych and proggy. And then CD-wise, I'd say the 13th Floor Elevators. Now this is called the Psychedelic Sounds, the 13th Floor Elevators. This, as I said, a double CD set, reissue, limited edition on the Charlie label. So you've got the original LP on there, and then it's then you've got the reissue with the attended running order that the band wanted. So certainly say it would go with that. And then finally, something a bit more up to date, well, about 15 years old, I'd recommend the Coral. They're from Liverpool. This is their debut album, which came out in 2002. Pop with a hint of psych in there. So I'd certainly recommend that. And then finally, Hanna wants to show, she's a cat lover, so she wants you to show an album cover with cat in it. Well, I can do better than that. I'll show you an album which has got a cat in the title. This is Blink 182's debut album, or CD, Cheshire Cat. There you go. So, well done again, Hanna, on reaching over 500 subs. More power to your elbow. Keep producing the videos. I do enjoy them. I am a bit behind on your videos. I haven't commented because I haven't been watching, as I said earlier. The mood hasn't taken me at the moment. So, for all those you haven't subscribed to Hanna, well, I imagine most of the VC has subscribed to Hanna. So I'll end it there. So it's been that long since I've done a video. I've forgotten what I was going to say. So if you're referring to me, if you've come across my channel for the first time, you like what you see, God knows why, click on the subscribe button. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love the interaction. Feel free to comment. I will get back to you. So until the next video, VC, take care of yourselves. Keep spinning. More importantly, keep smiling.